Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Feminist Social broadcast. Daddy, are you there? Come in, Daddy.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Oh my God, my tiger needs to be with you, it seems.
I know. I definitely need to get myself. Some more wildlife.
Yeah, no, I think she would rather be with you by the looks of it.
I don't know. She looks pretty lovely. Does she have a name?
Actually, she's not a she. She's whatever she wants to be.
Do
And
they
her
have
name,
a name?
yes, their name's King.
King. Love it.
And he's also got, actually, they are badass. Getting all chains, got his chain there.
Yeah, love it. Love it. So we've got a great show today and we've got some wonderful guests coming in.
Yeah.
I can't wait. All of our watchers out there, hi today. So lovely to see you watching us from home. Our topic tonight is body politics. So this is a great opportunity for you to start thinking about some of your questions.
We definitely want to hear from everyone. Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. Daddy, I was going to say, should we get started?
Yes, I think we should.
We're back. Hi for that short little break. So, Daddy, how's your week been?
Pretty good. Pretty busy. How about you?
Yeah. I've been pretty busy right now as well. I'm doing little bits of work here and there. And we have, with our topic, we've got this really amazing topic that is, hi, counterpart. So lovely to see you. We've obviously got a big meaty topic to talk about tonight as well. But I wanted to find out if you've got any good shit going on right now that you wanted to share with everyone.
Wait, are you talking about me? Because I was like, I want you to go first.
I'll go first then. I'll go first and then you can. One of the things that I've
say first. I'm the daddy. First.
Oh, thanks, babe. Thanks, Daddy. Well, one of the things that I have done this month that I'm really proud of myself for is that I've upped my production designer game and I bought myself an iPad. So, which is a really small thing, but it's meant that I have been able to really upskill myself really quite quickly. And part of that has meant that I am actually getting some really amazing working in a different design field, which is brilliant. And I also then get to do things like just draw donuts on Procreate. And I love donuts. So
that's so great.
I just love them. And then one other thing that I'm really that really resonated with me this month is I stood up for myself and acknowledged my worth. I had a moment in time where I was finding that there was a lot of taking happening and I really needed to not only just stand up for myself, but I actually needed to acknowledge that and really voice that to the world. And that was a big win for me.
That's awesome.
So they're my good things this month. How about you?
They're huge. Congratulations. I think I want to hear more about that, but yes, I've had a really good month. I can't complain. I think I've been really just fortunate with having like this to work on, and my classes have been really great. It's taken on a life of its own in terms of creativity. So I feel like, I don't know, I kind of lost whatever that was, whatever that is that I have now. I haven't had for a while as a creative artist. And now it's just like, please stop me. It's great. It's great to be finally in that like creative stage. And like, yeah, so that's really good.
Yeah, and that's like a real, I guess, pivoting, corner turning moment as well. That moment when your creativity kind of comes back to you and you really have that power in that, which is brilliant.
Like I'm back where I love, you know, it's stages home, creativity is home. Like, so yeah.
And you've also been with your classes. That's like your classes are very not only empowering, but they're very powerful. And I've heard such wonderful reports.
I will. I was like, I'm gonna make you come, and I'm like, yes. Yeah, you have to come. I love to see you in there. I've had the best time doing it. It's not like, obviously it's a class for everyone, but it became something where it was like, this is what I want to do that makes me feel good. So that's what I hope my classes bring, because that's what it's been doing. So.
Yeah, and when you're doing something that you love and that really resonates with you, both like creatively and financially, it definitely feels better, like on the inside as well, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we saw your message. Thanks for tuning in. Please let us know your thoughts. We want to hear everybody's thoughts on this topic, by the way, not just us.
Yeah, definitely. And any questions, anything, please do share. Definitely. So Daddy, speaking of coming, should we I had some questions. Well, not yet. I just had some questions, body politics related, that I wanted to talk to you about first, so that you and I can have a little chit chat.
Yeah, sure. Tell me what they were in the note.
I wonder. What I wanted to know from you is, when it comes to things like body ownership and the commodification of the body, what are your views on financial reward and creating income
with our bodies?
With that, yes,
I think it's an incredible thing. I think for me, that was probably the biggest lesson that I learned, and what gave me probably the biggest power that I never knew I had. Because you know, you're taught a particular way of life, a particular way to do everything, and the one thing that you don't realize is this vessel can really bring you some joy financially. Yeah, and I can use my body in that space and be able to get money out of it, as well as create with it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And
and
I think it's very also, yeah. And how do you navigate between using your, using is probably not the right word, but accessing your body and for, say, social media promotion versus accessing the skills of your body for creating financial gain? between making money and between social media promotions, like, so we, you know, how do you differentiate between like getting your tits out for Instagram and then doing that for OnlyFans?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that. I have had a very good relationship in my life as of recent. And I feel like I've not created, but found this new sort of this elevated boundary or respect for my body and how I should value it. And I found myself not pulling back, but going, you know, that's not theirs to consume, like that. I shouldn't have to do that. And that's not to say that if anyone does that, it's wrong. I'm saying that I want to get some money out of that because this is what I do for work, though. Like, you know, I do other things on the side that I use my entire body for. And also, as a burlesque or performance artist, I use my entire body. So, yeah.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why we actually came up with doing this show. Just a bit of backstory for everyone who's watching tonight. I suggested one of the things that we could do as being like a bit provocative, I guess, for the show would be that as feminists, we do the show in our underwear. And Jane was actually the one who helped to educate me, even though I have been I've been a naked performer in very many different forms, and used my for money.
Like, I'm not not for it.
No, but at the same time, it was good for you to kind of bring that up to me and show that having that, you know, we need to value how we make money if we're making money from our bodies, we need to kind of think about that and be like, okay, well, if we're going to do the show in our underwear, then we want to be able to create income out of that. So it was just a really interesting thing, and it's something that I've been thinking about like over the past month as well, of like reminding myself as well that even though I don't perform as much anymore, that my body is still of value, and and that I have a right to make money off it out of my body.
Yeah. And I think that's it though, because sometimes you forget, and I talk about that because you break those two things down, because you talk about a performer and performance artists give so much labor as it is, right? But we are also performance artists, but on top of that, we strip. So then there's another element of us giving more. Yeah, Bella, yeah. And that's not to say fucking I'm like pro like all the things, and I feel like whoever's on here would know that, but I got taught this value for myself and how much, if I really want to do that, I should do that, absolutely. But are you going to fucking honor me the way I demand it?
Exactly.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's where I have started to go into myself, understanding what that means, and the exchange. Because if the exchange doesn't go this way, then what the fuck is that for? Because I know I'm good.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. And the other point of it is as well is that right now, especially in places like Victoria, but all around the world, is that we are relying very heavily on live stream and social media, and it's very easy to find yourself giving and not necessarily receiving, so that transaction it has a greater chance of being unbalanced right now. So yeah. So I guess that's the thing. It's do whatever you want with your body, but think about how it's benefiting you.
You're okay with the exchange that's happening, and that's all. For me, it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I'm at, though. Ask me next year. I don't know. It might be different.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome.
Well, no, we shouldn't bring anyone out because I want to ask. So I wanted to ask you about your vision of body politics, and has it changed since you're growing up? I know the answer, but I just
yeah, it has. It definitely has. Like I am older than probably a lot of people who I'm friends with, and older than a lot of people who are watching the show. I'm not afraid to say my age. I'm 46. And through that time, I have worked in a variety of places that I have used my body. Used is not the right word. I have accessed the value of my body in a whole different array of things. But one of the things that definitely, from say when I was a child, from a very young age, I was quite developed. I had big boobs from about the age of 12. So I was used to, from a very young age, of being sexualized and being but then on the other hand also being kind of told that is slutty, or that is not like I'm womanly but not I can be womanly but not too womanly, and having outside influences really talk to me about my body, which was one of those things that I've had every woman definitely, but I would even go as far as to say every non-cis heteronormative man. I've had every part of my body talked about, picked on, assessed, devalued, and overly valued. And one of the things that has really made a big change for me as I've sort of, after say hitting 40, was my body did change a lot. Like after that time, I went from, I know part of that was because I wasn't dancing all the time as well, but it was interesting the change that happened. I went from being valued as a sex kitten to people talking to me not because of my body, if you know what I mean. Like I can't quite put the place on it, but it was it was weird, that transition where I lost the value, the so-called value of being a sex kitten, which I had struggled with, from dating and all sorts of things, really, and performance as well. So for me, one of the things with body politics, one of the things that I've found personally that has always been empowering for me is that I am in charge of my body, and that learning consent and learning that I have value no matter what shape or size, or no matter what I'm doing with that. But also that someone else's opinion actually doesn't fucking matter.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading the comments. Yeah, I'm glad everyone agrees with that. I was a bit worried there. I was like, oh my god, don't tell everyone. Yeah, no, I think that's an important point though. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those things I've just really had to and I constantly have to remind myself that I'm of value, that my body is of value, and that I can still access it in a way that I can access it sexually, I can access it performatively, and that it is, it's still something of value, even if it's not always deemed as of value by others.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And it's like, it's all those society values, it's just unlearning a lot of those things. Like, I'm still unlearning like a lot of those values that I used to have. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We are our own worst critics, and that's the thing. You might be sitting there thinking you see yourself as this way, but others don't, and like that's a really important part of this. Like, I think we put this added like expectancy on us, but when we look at other people, we don't have the same high values. Like, we see people and love them for who they are, and they, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to yourself, it's
yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. So should we get our
70? Sorry, I was just saying. Yes.
Should we get our wonderful kitties on? Tonight we have a tale of two kitties.
Yeah. Is everybody excited for this?
Yeah.
We brought you the goods. We've got
and now's the time to start thinking about those questions as well.
Yeah. Start writing them, even if we don't answer them now. At least we've got them in the comments to come back to, or that sort of thing. So if you do think of something, please write it down, and we definitely want to have a chat with you all.
Yeah, definitely. And just before we bring everyone in, I also just want to remind everyone that we do accept tips. So feel free at any time. Our wonderful tech, Charlie Debacle, will post the link in our bio anytime soon. So so feel free anytime. We certainly wouldn't mind. Well, I'm very excited about.
Shall we bring out the?
Absolutely. Did you want to go ahead and introduce one of the kitties for me?
Whiskey, yes. Yes. Well, let's just start off with one or the other, shall we?
Yeah.
So, this babe is a personal friend of mine. She's one of the badasses that I message if I need some advice, or we just hang out and create, or we just hang out and watch 90s movies together. I have the best time talking shop with her. So, we do talk about a lot of like current politics stuff, like we'll talk about tonight, and creating. So we try to talk about how we can support each other as friends and businesses, and create and do things and kind of challenge each other. So my very special friend, I would like to bring onto the stage Kitty Lane from the House of Lane.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Kitty.
I like how it just says the boss.
She is the boss.
It's so
you are the boss.
What's going on? Sorry?
You look stunning, babe. You look stunning.
I've just been filming all day, so easy. I do actually have my sweatpants on underneath, so don't get it twisted.
That's hilarious.
Always very much.
I really need to buy a pair of updates, actually. I was never with them, but it's necessary now.
It is, absolutely. Tracksuit pants and Ugg boots are all the way to go. Before we get into some really juicy topics, I do want to bring in our other wonderful guest. this is also a very special kitty who we've been friends for a couple of years now, but when she moved to Melbourne, ever since then, she's been an amazing support. She's also just lives around the corner from me, and we quite often catch up to just talk about all sorts of stuff, like all sorts of feminist stuff when we have questions about politics or about the world that's going on around us. Kitty is one of the people that I always turn to. They're also an amazing performer. They're also the creator of Curls and Claws, which is in Melbourne and in Brisbane. So please welcome to our wonderful show, the amazing Kitty Obsidian.
Hi. Aggressively queer. Classic bisexual.
Hi, Kitty. So good to see you.
It's good to see you guys too.
I love your headphones.
Thank you. I don't actually have speakers on my computer, so everything is headphone done. And as always, cat ears are a must. So.
Hell yeah. I love your cardi.
Thank you. It's pink leopard print. It's my life.
I love it.
Amazing.
Yes, Whiskey, absolutely. So I've got a question for both of you that I'd love to get your opinion on, which I think both of you are the perfect people to ask about this. Both of you have a wonderful aesthetic and have really honed your looks. And it plays a big part of your careers and how you make money. But there is this like really outdated stream of thought in feminism about that if we're using our bodies or we are dressing a certain way that it's unfeminist. How do you deal with that, and how do you deal with body politics around those sort of views and those sort of spaces? Kitty Lane, I'm gonna get you to go first.
I was like,
which Kitty?
It's like the bravest, and I love it. Well, to be perfectly honest, I feel like being a woman, it doesn't mean you're not a feminist if you enjoy every single part of you and what you can do or what you could do that could make you happy in any way. Like, I just think that if, putting on a red lip makes you feel happy, if doing your hair makes you feel happy, if putting on heels, your favorite pair of heels, and whatever outfit, makes you feel like a fucking boss, I reckon that's feminism at its finest, because it's about you. You're constantly, you have to apologize for yourself in so many different aspects of life. So if you can take one thing for you, I think it's brilliant. And I'm like, go for it. Do it, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Kitty Obsidian, what are your thoughts?
Like Kitty Lane said, like everything about being a femme or being a woman is politicized. Taking something for yourself is really important. I've semi-recently pushed it a little bit further. And I like using my aesthetic, my ideals as almost as a weapon in a way, like which simultaneously protects myself and gives people a chance to talk about things that they maybe wouldn't. I grew up doing martial arts in a very male-dominated area. It was full contact martial arts. And I hated pink because everything that was feminine and girly when I was growing up was automatically seen as negative. Whereas as an adult, I really like pink, and I have most of my life. I just haven't felt like I'm allowed to enjoy it, because to like pink is to be, negatively feminine or soft and all of these things. And it's my choice to be able to do those things. It's my choice how I want to be and how I want to dress. So now I like being aggressively pink all of the time. And that's kind of my way of handling a lot of those kind of issues. And that, you know, being feminine does not mean weakness. You know, if anything, it's strength, because we do have to deal so much with everything in our lives, and, you know, and our society attacking us constantly. So being able to take something and find strength in it is possibly the most important thing that we can do as feminists. Is that choice is for everyone. How they find that strength is immaterial. You just find it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's really about sort of that the ability to choose as well. I think that's something when it comes to
Definitely
looks and aesthetic, that personal choice is what makes it a feminist look. It doesn't matter what that look is, whether that look is tracksuit pants or full corseted with like a makeup and red lips. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That choice is so important to find that thing.
I'm kind of over our narrative being taken away from us. That's what the issue is really, is we don't get the choice to make that narrative. It's there for us. And if you don't comply, then you're all these things. You're angry, you're this, you're that, you know.
You're hysterical.
Yeah.
All of this.
Like, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, shall I ask a question?
Do it.
What? Oh, wait.
Yes, Bella.
Yeah, that's it, Bella. And that's the thing. You're damned if you do or you don't. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking start fires. Is at the point. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the thing. As long as you're not hurting anyone, it's all good.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask about body politics and kind of processes that you've put in place in your life to kind of keep yourself healthy in that regard. I know there's a lot of things we do to protect ourselves. So what are some of the things that you all have?
Are we doing the same?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Let's keep
Something through lockdown I have actually really gotten into is actually unfollowing people on Instagram. Unfollowing women that, you know, I love their work, but it was almost a form of like self-sabotage or masochism, because I tried to, like, you know, every single photo I'd see of them, I was like, oh wow, my body doesn't look like that. Yeah, no. And then immediately feel bad about myself and feel bad all day. And so, yeah, getting away from that, you know, a little bit has been really great during lockdown for me anyway. But that's actual, like, daily rituals. I've only taken it back up. Years ago, I used to do it every single day, and it's only recently I've started doing it again, where I have that moment in the morning. You know, you go through, you've taken all your clothes off, you go just before I take the shower. There's a huge mirror. It's very confronting, especially through lockdown. So, you know, the light sucks in there. It's terrible. So, yeah, but every single morning, you know, you stare at yourself, you have a little, like, turn and everything, and you find one thing, and it can be like your elbow, it can be your boobies, it can be your shoulders that day. It might make you feel amazing. But you have to pick one thing about yourself that you're just like, holy crap, like, I get to be all day. That's pretty fun. And it doesn't matter what you look like, or that your hair is a bird's nest and you've still got, you know, mascara left over from the night before. Like, just doing that one thing daily, and, like, reminding yourself every single day that, like, you're a really fun person. And, like, it is a lot of fun to, you know, love yourself. And it's hard. But Like little reminders every day.
I think that's a really good way to look at it, though. Like highlight what is great, not like all the other stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because you can get
That's it.
bad things that you think about yourself, and that's the worst kind of relationship to have with yourself, but the easiest one to create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
Completely.
Yes.
So very true.
Yeah. It's tiring trying to keep checking yourself in and telling yourself you are like, that's it.
It's good. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been a massive fan of the snooze for 30 days on Facebook as well. Like I use liberally and repeat as often as necessary. And it can be for like a variety of reasons, but things that are not that I find triggering are definitely a snooze fest at the moment. So
I've deleted it. I don't know. Like, go now.
Kitty O, how are you navigating body politics at the moment?
In the same way that I do everything, I think, which is just be aggressively more about it. I find, and obviously I'm coming through this with my own biases and understanding of the world that I live in, but I find that as a fat woman, the very first thing anyone says to me is like, oh, but you're not fat. It's like, I am, and that's not an inherently bad thing. The words that we use don't have to be insults. You don't have to let people insult you. And I understand it's so fucking difficult, excuse my language, because of the world that we live in and the way that our society upholds thinness as not just desirable, but also as health, as something to aspire to, as all of these issues. So for me, it's very much a case of someone tells me I can't do something, I'm gonna go do it. So a classic example that Carletta shared earlier was on the feminist social page was I got told I shouldn't wear crop tops because no one wants to see a fat woman's tummy. So I went and did a whole bunch of posts on TikTok in a crop top being like, I wear what I want. And it was really useful to talk to other fat women that were like, yes, honey, I love to see it. And just talking, and connecting with people about the struggles that you face and being honest about it is really helpful for me to keep myself grounded in understanding that body politics affects us every day. And it's okay to feel negatively, but it's also important to be honest and connect with the people around you, because that grounds you a little bit more in the reality of the situation, rather than getting, I guess, caught in that negative self-spiral in your head where you just constantly have that very negative talk of your own body when it is so useful for more than just being pretty or desirable. You create things with your body every day. Just walking to the fridge to get a slice of cake is important because like 90% of the animals on the earth can't do that. So it's a vessel for so much more than just desirability. It's important to note those things. So
and I guess that's the thing too, is it's like the body is an amazing tool. It can keep us alive and conscious to be able to do all the things that we want to do in life. It can or cannot reproduce, and that is a wonderful choice that we have. But one of the things that I know, like Kitty Obsidian, you and I have spoken about, and Kitty Lane, I would love to hear your thoughts on this as well, is when it comes to career and when it comes to like your body shape or your body size, how do you feel sometimes that you have to work harder because of who you are and what you look like? Kitty Lane, we'll start with you.
So, like, I love the tale of two kitties. It's very confusing. But then again, I'm easily confused. Okay. It's been a long day. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an intriguing thing. I mean, I went, you know, from the start of my hairdressing career, you know, being a blonde, you know, and you have a natural mole, put on a red lip and have blonde hair, you're Marilyn, you know? And so upholding that, or having people come into the salon to see me, you know, anywhere up to, gosh, when was that last one? A couple of years ago or so, or even a year. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, people expect you a certain way, and you know, you're a real person. Like, you know, you have your off days. You know, some days I don't want to do all of this, and I don't want to put on the show that everyone expects from people, like people who do any kind of job. And, you know, yeah, you have your good days and your bad days, but I think if you're just, like, for me, just being open and honest with my clients in particular, you know, getting new people in the door is all about, you know, your social media, your Instagram, how things are shot, how your hair looks, this, that, and the next thing. And that's important, but I think it's really even more so important to have people actually see who you are. Like, and that for me personally is having people sit in my chair. You know, you're there for 3 hours every 4 to 6 weeks, and you get to know the good and the bad and the ugly. So I think that for me, that's beautiful. You know, like my clients will tell you they know everything about me, and that I think it's like bringing down your own walls that maybe on social media you have a certain way of doing things. But yeah, just being true to yourself and whatever that looks like to you that day.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, like personally, like especially through this lockdown. And Jane, you'll know this because obviously it's a roller coaster. You have your good days where you want to film all day and get shit done. But then you have your shitty days where you maybe don't shower and you stay on the couch and rewatch shit you've watched a million times over. And that's okay. Everything is a beautiful part of your week. And
that's it.
It's important. I reckon. I don't know. I reckon it's important to show people every aspect of you because we're all human.
Yeah. And that's also a really interesting point, especially today, is the difference about your social media presence and the reality of the real, you know, the real, what it's really like in the house of Lane. And I think, you know, it's really wonderful that you can be really open and honest about that with people as well.
For sure. Any time personally that I've had, I've had girls message me if I've had a particularly bad day and I've posted something that's like very personal, or me talking to the camera about something, and you know, it's not that perfect polished. Yeah, it's beautiful to actually hear, you know, people will immediately message you and go like, oh, I had a bad day as well, or oh, I feel this way as well. I relate to you in this way. And it's like, oh, honey, we all go through it. Like, we're all in this together. And some days it sucks and some days it doesn't fit. Sometimes it's nice to just know that you're not actually alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agree.
Absolutely.
That's it. How about you, Kitty?
I agree. And I often think that people make perhaps subconscious judgments on first appearances. And obviously, as we get to know each other and we get to know the real people, then, you know, our opinions change or evolve, however that may be, for good or bad. But I think in a work sphere, from like a corporate perspective or for working for other people, I've both observed and had it happen to me, where there's a snapshot of, well, she's got, you know, dyed hair, there's a tattoo on my face, like I look kind of weird. And even when I'm trying to dress normal, I still can't make it work. Like, I can only work with what's in my wardrobe, and I refuse to buy clothes that don't work for me. So and it's always been really interesting. I've had quite a few bosses over the years be like, wow, you are really, really hardworking and, you know, intelligent and all of these things. And I kind of looked at them because they said it with surprise. And there is often a lot of subconscious bias in how we are taught by society that certain things are equal certain things. So, you know, if you look alternative, then maybe you're not going to follow directions, or you're a bit of, you know, a bit lazy, or if you're fat, that you're going to be lazy, not going to want to do the work, or, you know, there's all these preconceived ideas. And I don't think they're ever maliciously intended. It is very much subconscious based on how we deal with the information presented to us throughout our life. But it's definitely interesting to watch people break down those preconceived notions once they start to get to know people and understand who they're talking to, and you know, that you are an individual person, and that we do all go through the same struggles, you know, hardships in our lives, and all of this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. And it is interesting that it was something that Kitty Obsidian, you and I were talking about backstage before, where we were talking about how there is a default when it comes to fat women and fat performers in particular, that notion of having to be funny.
Yeah.
And that
funny.
you've got to
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You've kind of got to work twice as hard as what would be considered conventionally attractive, you know. Kelly, that is definitely the corporate oppression. It's very much, this is an idea of what you can be, and if you are not this, well, then you mustn't be very good. Even if you're at the exact same standard, you're already negatively viewed. So having to fight harder and having to do things that are, you know, I guess societally acceptable, like being comedic rather than sexy, is kind of one of the few ways you can survive. But that's exhausting in itself. Like, I don't really think I'm a funny person, but I love being unapologetically sexual with my body. And it's, you know, it is very much about having to sort of navigate those issues when there is kind of that stereotypical idea that if you are this, you must do this. And if you're not doing that, that's not acceptable. So it can be really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, Kitty Lane, I imagine that you would get, especially when you were blonde, you would have gotten that that assumption that you were ditzy and cute quite a lot as well. And I know.
Yeah. When I was blonde, but you know what? I'll hold my hands up. I did not often actually. I did sometimes use that to my advantage, because
of course.
Read the room and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm a blonde. It's like, I'm also a hairdresser and this is dyed, and that entire stereotype is so wrong anyway. Like, yeah, look, having gone between, you know, dark hair, light hair a few times now, it's I'm very irritated with how differently people treat me with either, you know, like, a million people have done it, but it really, really irritates me, the difference. And like, you know, and I love my blonde hair. I couldn't keep up with the roots. Like, irritating. You're a hairdresser, but you can't do your own color. Well,
that would be.
And that's the thing. I don't know. It's very irritating, because you still have the same mind, but it's all what's on the outside. People take in and they expect you. Expect you to not have a brain, or if you react in a certain way, if you're a blonde, you're a certain type of woman, but if you're a brunette, you're another type of woman, and it's it's infuriating.
Yeah. Actually, Jane, I know that you've said this before, you know, that the notion of I'm not exotic, I'm exhausted.
Yes.
Which
well, I used to always get referred to as in shoots, someone said, "Oh, the exotic one, can you just move over?" And I was like, "I guess that's me then." And then I remember the person that I was doing the show with, I bitched about it, and they were like, "You should be so lucky. I wish I was exotic." And I was like, "Hola." So,
hell no.
No thanks.
So when I say exotic and exhausted, it's very, very like it brings me back so many good memories.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Changing body, I think that's a really interesting thing, and especially right now, like a lot of people during the pandemic. I know that I remember reading a post very early on from Jezebel Express in New York, and she was like, everyone is going to have to start getting comfortable with the fact that your bodies are going to change during this time.
Yeah, that's it.
And
I think that's okay. But I know that when this happened, I remember having a conversation with myself saying, there are two things that I know are going to happen. My mental health and my physical health is going to go down, which is fine. Just maintain it as best as you can. And I think, you know, I actually really love, like...
I'm so sorry.
An extra kitty.
Khan wants to say hello.
Oh.
Meow, meow. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry.
No, I meant mental health and physical. But I've learned to really love myself during this and all like my curves and all what have you. I just don't see why we valued that stuff so much, and it's been really great to find power in loving who you are, whatever that looks like. Fucking day, like who gives a fuck?
I think as well, everyone has that little bit extra time, well, a lot of extra time now, to like take those moments for themselves. Whereas when too busy, I want to do this or that or the next thing. Whereas now it's like you can put the time into those little practices, like you were saying. That actually, like, you check in with yourself. It's very necessary.
Yeah, definitely.
There was like a question I wanted to ask, but we slightly touched in on that. But I was going to ask, have you both ever taken any gigs where they've tried to make you fit a mold that the stereotype?
I think that's for those two, because I haven't performed on it.
Well, no, but have you ever taken a gig because they think you are Marilyn, or so?
I've been paid to impersonate her. Or hated it.
That's right.
Oh, fine. Well, okay. But no, I just walked on a super fancy party. It was like some launch. I don't even know what it was about actually, but they paid me to go in and like take photos of with people, and like it was awkward. I'm an awkward person anyway. I was like, where is the champagne? But then I was like, I also don't want to drink champagne because then I'll get like all hazy eyed. But I'm not good at talking to people. One-on-one in a chair, I'm like, easy, I got it. But like walking up to random strangers who are just trying to have a drink, going like, they're paying me to take photos with people. Like, Joe, want to jump in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Promo work is very hard. I have not done it in years, and I don't think I will want to do it again anytime soon. It's like it's kind of like there is an element of it that is door to door, like door to door encyclopedia selling in a way. You know, like you kind of, like you said, like you're walking up to people who don't necessarily want anything from you. Yeah.
I don't know who the hell you are. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Kitty Obsidian.
Yeah. So it's kind of linked back to that whole like fat equals funny thing. When I started doing a bit more, when I started doing like lighthearted funny routines, I was getting booked a lot more, which is fine. Everyone likes to laugh, right? Everyone likes to have a laugh. It's a good time. I enjoyed the routines. I created them for funsies. When I started doing more political routines that were about things that I was really passionate about, I got totally different responses. And it was very interesting to note that people were kind of like taken aback because it wasn't what was presented, what they thought it was going to happen. So, you know, expecting to see something funny or interesting. And instead I was like, no, I want to be serious for a second. This is something that is serious and important and I'm passionate about. And it just kind of went over people's heads. So yeah, I've navigated that one. It's been interesting. So
yeah. Oh, Kitty, I mean, whiskey, so did I. I actually did sell when I was 18. I did do door-to-door encyclopedia selling. I was shit at it. I got fired. I was so bad at it.
What you do when they open the door? Like, what was your pitch?
I can't remember because it was over 20 years ago, but I actually do credit it with helping me become a better performer and also coming out of my shell, because before that I was actually incredibly shy. Like I wouldn't speak to anyone. I was just like this little like nerdy arty kid that like hardly spoke to anyone. And I got this job and they not only did they hire me, but they plucked me out of Queensland and sent me to South Australia. So I was like in a foreign state, like out in like rural South Australia, like knocking on doors and being chased by like Alsatians and stuff like that. But I was really bad. Like I think I only sold one encyclopedia in like a month, and then they fired me. But hey, it was fine.
It's a really interesting question from GSL there.
What was that one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I did see that, but I don't know anything about that.
I didn't even know that was on.
Anyone else?
I had no idea.
I should know about this. Bella, Bella or Whiskey, have you babes heard of it at all? I did
saw
see
something
that
online.
I'm not going to grab my phone and go on Facebook.
No, I had no idea that was on.
I've just,
I've also never heard of the concept.
I've seen it overseas. It happens a lot in America because I've got a couple of friends in the States that are plus size women that do a lot of those kind of shows. Like, without knowing absolutely anything about it whatsoever, I suppose it would depend on the context of what it was for. If you're doing a show about fat performers for the lols, then maybe not a good thing because it's very much reinforcing that stereotype. But if you're doing a fat burlesque review to look at that different bodies are capable of different things, and that fat does not automatically equal unhealthy, and that these women or men can be sexy. I suppose that's very different. But I didn't even know the show was on, which is surprising because I normally keep an eye out for that kind of stuff.
I saw the sponsored post too. Yeah.
There was also another thing that was coming out. It was a couple of months ago, and someone actually sent it to me, and I got cranky about it. But it was a call out for plus size burlesque performers, and it was just random.
Oh yeah,
it was like this random. We didn't know how much there was, if there was any pay. It was one of those
like a known performer, producer looking for this.
It was just a random. It was just a random like Facebook. People were wanting. It was bizarre, and the whole point of those. The reason why I was angry at it, it wasn't that it was that they were looking for a plus size performer. It was just the assumption that people had that anyone who was slightly larger wanted to go for this, and that automatically you had to be included. And it comes down to choice. And it's really like having full shows of larger performers, and the same as having full shows of performers of color is wonderful, and it's great as long as the intention is the right kind of way, I guess. But also that we need to be more just inclusive. It needs to we just need to actually have actually inclusive shows.
That's it. But it's all those words, and it's just like you're not really actually, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I feel like a lot of that's happening at the moment with just picking out like these I call them buzzwords, because I'm like, you don't know what it is, but you know that it's something that needs to be spoken about.
Yeah. I actually have another question, and it's for all of you, but also like Jane, I would love to get your opinions on this actually. When it comes to like politicizing our bodies and other people taking advantage of that, how I would love to hear everyone's thoughts. And now, Jane, I do know yours, but I think the world needs to know as well, is on the recent exploitation of sex workers and people making trying to make money out of OnlyFans, and then we have like actresses like Bella Thorne just completely fucking it up for everyone. That was a really long-winded question.
Let me go get some whiskey first.
Because I think it's really important as well. It's like we, as performers who use our bodies, or as artists, we have a right to be on those platforms and to be able to gain an income from that. And then when someone who is literally just using it as a way, as an ends to a means, and fucks it for everyone, it's fucked.
Apparently. But this is the thing that's annoying. We talk about body politics. It's like you don't need that platform to do whatever. You've got all the money in the world, and like I get that you wouldn't know because it's not your life. It's not. But this is someone's life that you're rolling the dice with, and that's what's not okay, and that's fucking privilege, and that shit needs to stop. Like, and I have a lot of privilege too, and every day I try to figure out how I can break those cycles as well, because I can be that in myself. So I'm certainly not saying that I don't have any work, but you know, especially in this time frame as well, I was like, I can't say it. But I was like, in this time frame as well, where people don't have their usual means for sex work, so they may have gone on to OnlyFans. You know? They may be doing virtual sex work as well. I know a lot of people that are. And you've really taken away their very few rights we already have in that industry. And that's what you're talking about. Like, there's no fucking rights there, to be honest. And the very little rights that you do have, this person's just done a very, very stupid, thoughtless thing that affects people's livelihoods. This is a big deal. Actually a big fucking deal. And if I had found out that I was that bullshit, I would be absolutely mortified. Has this person said I'm fucking sorry?
No.
That's fucking absolutely disgusting.
I think I think people have this conception or this perception, I guess, that online sex work is easy. You just take a few photos, put them up, and people pay you, right? It's not how it works. And you know, as an ex-sex worker, man, I'll take fucking brothel day over OnlyFans any time, because like at least I don't have to think about brothel day. I walk in, somebody else is taking care of everything for me. I literally just show up to do the job, right? Whereas with OnlyFans and other types of online sex work, it is so complex and convoluted and difficult, and there are no rights to protect you, and there is no support to help you unless you make friends with other sex workers that are willing to go out on a limb to help you, you know, possibly at the cost of their own income. So it's a very, you know, intense, lonely, frustrating, difficult industry to be in. And for someone to just waltz all in for a bit of a laugh because they wanted to kind of see what it was like is just fucking disrespectful, you know, to people's hard work.
What they said they were going to deliver, I believe, but I'm not sure. I don't want to speak on the facts that I don't know, but I'm pretty certain they were like, you'll get nudes or something, but they were in a bikini or something.
Yeah.
Look,
and that's what caused all the refunds. Sorry, Kitty Lane.
Yeah, no, and it's just.
Oh no, I read a lot of the articles about it from both sides, and it was just ridiculous. Look, I didn't actually know who Bella Thorne was.
No,
I saw all of this come up from a few of the girls I know in the sex work industry who have moved online, obviously, given everything going on. And I saw a couple of, forward articles in their stories, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I started reading about it, and this chick just basically was like, oh my God, like, I'm doing research for a movie, and she, it's just come out that the director or the person she was supposed to be doing this research for had actually come out on his Twitter, which I'm not on Twitter. I don't understand things. But come out on his Twitter and gone like, look, I have absolutely nothing to do with this. It was an idea for a movie that was floated around, but nothing was actually put down on paper. This has absolutely nothing to do with me. You know, her thing is her thing, whatever. And basically she opened this thing up. It's just her, like, people are paying something like $200 per person for photos she posts on her Instagram, which is, I don't know, it's just like, look, honey, you want to sell your bikini shots, maybe, like, if you want to do that, maybe don't put them all over Instagram and then say like, oh, it's something different. And then literally make, what was it, $2 million in 2 days and take that out of the mouth because OnlyFans couldn't actually pay any of the actual sex workers on the website because she just made $2 million in 2 days. That is, every single person on that website can't pay their rent or, can't feed themselves, their kids. It's disgusting because I think they read like a 30-day wait or something for funds. People have shit going on. And she's come out saying like,
like little test and walk away, and other people have to deal with the consequences of her shit when she doesn't have to even like.
And she gave this little like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize what I was doing. And it's like, well, now you do. Are you going to
do anything about it?
Yeah. Are you going
That's
to
it.
give something back? Are you
That's
going
it.
to donate that $2 million you don't actually need
Yeah.
to the people on this site?
Yeah.
I agree.
Because even without the money, like she got actually what she wanted from it, which she got in the news. Like, but as Bella said, it's, you know, when wealthy invade this space, it is like a really gross kind of tourism. And
it was
and
sickening. I
especially
remember being very angry. I remember just being angry those 2-3 days when it happened. Afterwards, I was like, yeah.
It is.
And I felt for friends. I was like, this is fucked. We've all been through a lot.
Yeah.
Like I do not work in the industry at all, but this is, especially at this point in time, through this pandemic and the lockdowns and the, you know, global crisis we're all in, like, I mean, no time would be the time to do it, but this is definitely not that time. This
absolutely.
is give that money back to that industry.
Oh, it's
on your merry way.
It's the privilege of not having to think about anyone else except yourself, really, and that's what comes with that kind of, you know, extreme privilege and wealth, and it's, you know, it's absolute bullshit. Like when it happens,
being able to worry about it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So like I remember messaging friends about it, being like, "Are you okay? What do you need?" You know, and then just not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And
because
like,
there's also
to worry about
that. And there's more and more people turning to forms of sex work or forms of using their body online to have an income, because that's what they don't have any other outlet right now and any other income streams. So to see someone who literally didn't need it do that is shameful.
100%.
Yeah.
And the thing I find funny as well, sorry, just quickly, is that, well, it's not funny at all, but the fact that it didn't actually, like, it's not like, obviously OnlyFans is an online platform, so she didn't only fuck over the sex work industry in America, she fucked it completely all over the world.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And there's also already, you know, on top of that, there are so many restrictions on sex work and on, in general, how women and non-binary people and trans people can access income online because their bodies are constantly being politicized.
But I was going to say, even regardless of being in the sex industry, if you've got social media, the same rules apply. You know, we're still under that microscope
constantly.
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely. And it actually, have you all noticed that it's getting worse now? Like certain words, certain, like, are you getting reported a lot or being notified? This looks like it could be like a slutty post, like, you know. What more are we talking about body politics? It's just getting worse online, and we only have online for us to express, for us to do anything. We're not allowed to fucking go anywhere. And then you're telling us, then we've got these rules online how to express ourselves. Yeah.
Well, even a side note of that as well is women who are slightly bigger, they don't even have to be classified as fat women, but women who are bigger and show more skin automatically get flagged for nudity because the percentage of skin on the page is flagged, but also women of color tend to be not shown as much on social media as white women, which is an interesting and really fucked up rhythm.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Like, I gotta say, like, and I'm not. There's no hate. But it's just I really am tired of seeing that. Like, my options are always white things, and I don't mean that in any like dislike, but like there are so much more things in the world than white shit. Like I'm talking about so many cultures around the world. Like I would like to see that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Instagram was actually good? Like you followed someone and it was just literally this person like only posted this like 30 seconds ago. You're getting in on the new shit. Like
straight away. Yeah.
Oh, the good old days where you saw what you wanted to see and they didn't take anything away from you.
Yeah. And there wasn't this whole like shadow ban.
Every single one of my TikTok posts gets flagged and taken down, and every single one I have to appeal, and every single one they've given back to me after I've appealed it.
Well, that's an improvement on places like Facebook and Instagram. Like I was going through my Instagram earlier today to try and find a butt shot. I had this particular butt shot in mind that I wanted to post today. And when I went down, like, because it was like from a couple of years ago, and I was like, there's a whole heap of photos missing that they've just gone.
That's
so, which was really interesting that they're now like not even necessarily notifying you that they're just taking them away. But
it's getting worse.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's almost time for us to say goodbye. If anyone has any last minute questions, now is your time to type it in. But Kitty times 2, it's been Kitty squared. It's been so wonderful having you both on the show. It's been now what does that make it times 3? I don't even know. It's not
Kitty cubed.
We need a
That's great.
It's been really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and yourselves with us and with the audiences as well. It's been really wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks, Kitty.
Thank you for having me.
For your time, for your views.
Oh, honey, anytime.
Yeah.
And feel free to follow these bags.
Absolutely.
On the House of Lane and Kitty. So we'll have them tagged on our Instagram, on our Facebooks, and we'll share a few posts of theirs as well. But they're amazing, amazing people. So follow them. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and also I know that Kitty Obsidian is going to be on Twitch later today, later tonight at around 8:00. Should be on there gaming. And I'm pretty sure as soon as we open up a little bit more, we'll all be able to book in for those fabulous, well overdue hairstyles from the House of Lane.
Yeah. So hair's actually looking really good.
I know.
Because that happened before lockdown. So thank you, Kitty, House of Lane.
But we've got a couple of new things, exciting things that are going to be happening on with Feminist Social that we wanted to share with everyone.
Yeah.
Daddy,
So
do you want to tell them about your exciting?
Yes. We had a meeting the other day and we were talking about, we've had a plan where we've had a few segments that we've wanted to bring into the show. But, this has been a journey for us. We've been kind of, on the fly, seeing what's been going on with the world, and you know, it's just not been the time for us to get out there in the open with you all. But we've been really blessed to have this amazing journey, because I don't, you know, we've gone to this space, which I'm really excited for. So I'm going to be doing every month a daddy doctor. And it's going to be a little segment on the Feminist Social that I'll be running. I haven't figured out the day yet, but it'll be about a 15, 20 minutes or 15 minutes to half an hour, kind of ask me questions, advice, comments, that sort of thing. So it's going to be kind of like a Dolly Doctor or Dear Dolly, like, you know, write in and tell me all your problems and all that sort of stuff, or questions you wanted to ask us but you don't want us to have you type them. We can do them anonymously as well. So if you want to have your name blurred out, if you want to be, you want your details to be there, we can also do that. But yeah, I'd love to hear some questions that you have for me. If you have any things you want me to give you some advice, I'm pretty good at that. Yeah, so just shoot, ask me things. Yeah, I will let you know the day tonight.
That's great. And I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah,
because I know I'm going to be
feel free to write in. Yeah,
I will anytime. We're also going to start doing a weekly shout out for all the other boss babes that are going to be around and doing great stuff. And we're going to be doing that on Instagram. So if you've got anything that you wanted to like talk to us about and ask us to like promote and share, then just like pop it in, like send it into our Facebook or our Instagram, and we'll do a little shout out. I think we've got to pencil in. We might do it every Tuesday, but you know, pandemic life, we might do it Wednesday. Who knows?
We'll do it whenever we want. We'll say what we'll
do it whenever the fuck we want. And then also, I'll be continuing doing the Good Time Chats on Fridays when we're not doing them here. I'll be on Instagram every Friday interviewing a different person, and we've got some great people lined up to talk about that. So also on that, if you've got people that you would love to hear on the show, or if you think that you personally have something that you want to talk about, let us know, because we want to hear from you. So
and yeah, so we might build on these segments as time goes on. We definitely will. So if there's maybe ideas or anything that you want to add, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. You know how to contact us already. But yeah, I think that's all we had to say. And maybe tip us. I remembered.
Yeah. And also we've got a few people that we wanted to do a shout out for tonight. There is Fast Fashion. So they also create fashion on the field, which is the Nut the Cup fashion show that normally happens opposite Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day. So Fast Fashion has a new online magazine, and it is amazing. Go and follow them. We're going to post their links in the comments. Also, don't forget to follow Kitty Lane at House of Lane, and to follow Kitty Obsidian on her Twitch, and you can catch her at 8 o'clock. Don't forget that. Bella DeJac is also doing a Season of the Witch. She is doing a dance workshop for the upcoming Ostara, and that is next Monday night. So get into that. We can post some details on that workshop in our comments and on our page as well. Also, if you're after slutty underwear, Ruby Slippers and Eggs on Ham, they have their now serving snacks. Camilla Creme is doing a profitable performer program to help all those performers out there who are wanting to make some cash and do it in a smart way. So check that out. Check it out. Check all those people out. So, and then I guess the last thing is we've got our show next month, which will be a surprise theme. We will tell you the theme soon. And that will be in October. I think we're looking at October 16th, but we will confirm that for you. And we'll confirm that for you this week. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Again, thank you to both kitties for joining us. We enjoyed everything you had to say, and we were very grateful to have you both on board. So thank you so much. And Carletta, it's nice to see you on here.
I know. I'm hoping that sometime soon that we can actually be in the same room again together, because this is great.
Right.
But I really like doing the show with you beside me.
Yeah, same. I'm not. Yeah. This is fine, but I'm not. I didn't sign up for this, and I want. Alexis, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that's that then. Shall we?
It.
Love you, Bella. Thanks, Claire. Whiskey, love you.
Thank you. Thanks for sticking with us. We love you all. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.